Hello and welcome. My name is Michael Prince. I'm the Office Manager Coach, and today we're going to talk about some key principles that are crucial for being the best office manager you can be. A lot of us get promoted from one position up to office manager. Maybe you worked at the front desk. Maybe you were a CA that was helping patients. Maybe you worked in the back office and now you're managing this office. And you have to keep in mind every position and everything that they do, every procedure. You have the doctor asking you or telling you what he needs to do next. Sometimes they throw marketing in there on the office manager, and everything falls to you now to keep the office running efficiently, to handle hiring and firing, to handle payroll sometimes. All different kinds of things get added to the office manager that take your role from one focused, easy to manage system to everything all at once. I experienced that several years ago, going from systems coordinator, where my main focus was the technology systems in our office. I went from that to leadership, to in charge of the whole team and every system and everything that we did in our office, from the time a patient walked in for the first time all the way to when they continued on to their care plans for years to come. So I've learned a lot and I thought, hey, this is too much valuable information, stuff I wish I had known whenever I started. And so my brain said, hey, let's share this with other people and see what we can do about helping other clinics run more efficiently, because their office managers kind of had a little bit of help along the way, especially getting started. So we're just going to go through 5 key main things that we need to do, main principles that we need to do to manage our office efficiently and effectively. And so I'm not going to waste any more time. I've already wasted 2 of your minutes, and they're valuable, I know. So for the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to walk you through the key things. And if you become a coaching client and you work with me one-on-one, we will dig deep into each of these things specifically for your clinic. But here are the key factors that I think you can walk away from this information right now and feel like you gained some info. And so this is just for you to start the process. Step 1 is we need to systematize everything. That's right. Everything we do should be a part of the system that we have developed for our clinic. I enjoy this. Like I said, my initial job was systems coordinator, so I worked on especially the technology systems. We went from, our clinic had about 8 computer or tablets that we used to do our work in our office. We moved to a new clinic that had twice the footprint, and we added to the point of over 22, I think we were at 23, 24 now, different technology devices that we use in our office to do everything that we do, all connected to one central server for the network and for our EHR and everything, with multiple different softwares that are related to that. And all these systems are there to help us do better. But technology is not the only system, right? We have to create systems that enhance efficiency and ensure consistency in our daily operations. So efficiency means everything's getting done quickly and effectively to where the team feels like they have everything they need to get the job done. And we're doing it consistently, meaning it's the same every time. If it's not systematized, it won't be the same every time, and you're going to have frustrated patients, frustrated team members, and a frustrated boss. The CEO or clinic, the owner of your clinic is going to be frustrated when the systems are breaking down or everything's breaking down because you don't have systems. The second thing is adaptability. Systems should evolve as the office changes. Things are going to change. The economy is going to change. You're going to have to find new ways to discount care plans for patients. You're going to add new things to your clinic that will benefit patients, and you're going to have to find out what to charge for those and how to put that into a system for your patients to use, right, and to sign up for. And when they do sign up, what happens next? Do you put a charge in the ledger? Do you do this? Do you put info on a spreadsheet? All of that. So your system should evolve as your office changes because your work environment is going to be dynamic. It's going to flex. It's going to change. The team is going to change. So many different things. Lastly is overcoming weaknesses. So it's important to know your strengths, right? I love the Strength Finders test. And if you become a coaching client, part of your cost includes access to a code for the Strength Finders where you'll be able to get your strengths to see your top 5 strengths. They have 32, which you could pay a little more if you wanted to see more than that, but look at the top 5 as part of your coaching. And that's going to help you understand, where do I need to build in a system to fix the things that I'm not as strong at? So instead of strengthening our weaknesses and spinning our wheels and the little bitty gear is turning to try to get this big gear to turn, instead of that, we find a way to systematize things. Maybe it is a certain type of technology that we can use to help us do something. I love a project management software, and the one I use is super useful, and I can drag and drop little blocks. It's like playing a game. I finished this one, yay, and I can move it over because follow through on projects is not my strong suit, especially projects that I'm more holding accountable for than I am doing myself. So these things helped me. So I found systems to help me do those things. So overcoming your weaknesses and the weaknesses of your team. Number 1, systematize everything. Number 2 is to have living document policies. Here's what I mean by that. A lot of times we put together policies that are policies and procedures that are in a binder, and they're paper, and they're great, and maybe there's scripting in there and all different ways for you to know what to do as an office. But those things change, and every time they change, you're left with a new page to put in and a page to throw out, and you have to type it up, print it out. Here's what we've done. We've created an office wiki. I took notes from the tech companies that I know of and have worked with, and they use a wiki. A wiki is a living document, right? Your policies should be in a living document that can always be updated. And when that is updated, it's updated across the board. So my team has access to basically a web-based policies and procedures manual. And whenever we fill out that policies and procedure, I fill it out on my end, and everybody, when they access it, will now have those updates. So when we have a team training meeting and we decide we need to do this differently for one reason or another, and I update the policies later, they see that. Document everything. I do a lot of audio recording and just pasting my transcriptions of the audio recording into my meeting notes. Those are my meeting notes because everything should be documented. All your procedures should be documented. Everything from this very important new patient exam and scripting for those, all the way down to documenting your procedure for who cleans the toilet at the end of a shift. There should be paper trail or a digital trail is my preference. That's easy to reference and update as needed. It should be easy to update. Lastly is to let the team help. One of the great things about a wiki as a living document is that eventually you can have team members that you feel confident going in and updating those documents themselves, right? And so it's not all up to you. So whenever you're having that meeting and this particular team member, for instance, I have somebody in my office that we call our operations coordinator. She can have a conversation about something the front desk needs to start doing more efficiently and better. And I'll say, that is awesome. If you would please write that up in the wiki under their procedures, I will go take a look and approve it, and it'll be awesome. And then she can do that. You can also, some of these wiki programs you can use allow you to comment on it, and you can kind of have a back and forth and collaborate with each other easily in the document. Let the team help you. Not everything has to be on your plate. And the great thing about that too is it gives your team something that they have some buy-in on in these documents, in these policies, right? They created that. They had the conversation, they developed it, and you say, perfect, write it up. They can write that up. You may hear terms like SOPs or standard operating procedure. That's all this is. It's the same thing. We just like to call it procedures or policies and procedures in the like chiropractic clinic or wellness clinic world. The next thing that I think is critical is prioritizing team communication. Whether this be leaving notes or messaging, we have a live chat going all the time during our shifts to where no matter where you are in the clinic, if you have a computer, you have a chat available. It works through our server, with ChiroTouch is our EHR. It works through that. But prioritizing team communication. So training is where that starts, right? So effective training ensures everyone's equipped with the skills they need to succeed. So you've got to start with training. You got to start by communicating what's happening in your clinic, what's coming up, and then you go into role play training where they have access to those scriptings and the policies and procedures, and they can try them out on each other, and that is training. Secondly is check-ins. You as the manager having one-on-ones with the people who work in the clinic, right? You sit down with them and you talk them through their alignment, their motivation with the team, how they feel, if what they need to do their job better. That's a question I love to ask. Hey, what can I do to help you feel like you have everything you need to do your job? And then constant contact, a way for them to always be able to see the messaging, what's going on. We use Slack in our office. There's Teams. I've heard people use just a Facebook Messenger group, a Facebook group, like a private Facebook group where they post things. There's a lot of things you can do to increase that communication where you have constant contact with each other. And of course, when somebody's on vacation, they can mute an app, but you shouldn't be sending them personal text messages or whatever. So Slack allows them to do that sort of thing so they don't block your number. You know what I mean? So I know I'm going fast, but I'm trying to get as much of this information in for you as I can in less than 15 minutes so you can just have a nice, solid foundation for what the rest of this coaching program is all about. Next, I want to talk about limiting meetings. Meetings can be the bane of a team's existence, right? There's so much time is wasted sitting in a meeting talking things out. So focus on efficiency, minimize unnecessary meetings to maximize your productivity. The more time your team is sitting around you, listening to you talk about something, the more time they are not training by role-playing what's going on or out working for and with patients, right? Use different channels to limit meetings. Communication can be a big one on that. I have an accounts meeting that's about 20 to 40 minutes every Wednesday where we sit down with problem accounts in our clinic. We talk through those things. It's less than an hour every Wednesday. But the way we're able to get away with that, because we have so many more account issues we have to deal with over 650 active patients in our office, we have to use our Slack channels to communicate those things. So we will comment back and forth on each other's messages about patients. We have to use first initial, last name because we don't pay for the HIPAA compliant version. So we don't put patient full names or any other information about patients into Slack. But we know what we're talking about and we're able to communicate with each other. So that meeting can just be 20 to 40 minutes because we're not sitting going through every single patient who has a report coming up or every single patient who just signed on their care plan. All of that info, that is just basic data that we just need the information, goes first in Slack, second in their notes in ChiroTouch, so in your EHR. And then empower your leadership for meetings. We have pod training that our team's supposed to do 1 hour a week. My leadership team does those. My care team leader and my operations team leader, they do those trainings. And our doctor, head doctor, who's the owner of the clinic and our CEO, he does the trainings with the doctors and our massage therapist on the patient care side. So those are empowering your leadership to lead meetings when it's appropriate. This gives them ownership and accountability. You also can have them help you in your major meetings where you're getting together. We just did that in our last quarterly meeting last week. We had team members get up and talk about basically the state of the department. Here's where we are and where we feel like we succeeded. Here's what we've learned this last quarter. Here's what we're working on moving forward. All of this empowering leadership turns those meetings into conversations, into updates that everyone's involved in, and it's less about you wasting time spilling all of the different things you've been thinking about lately that you need to update. Instead, you're making things happen. Next is to eliminate administrative gravity. Administrative gravity is a cuss word to me. Administrative gravity is simply the amount of time you spend doing the things you can't describe that are required to get the things you can describe accomplished. Does that make sense? So every time you need to have a meeting, what are all the things you need to do so that you can do that meeting? All those things are called administrative gravity. So unnecessary meetings create more administrative gravity, which create frustration, wasted time. Identify and reduce tasks that slow down your team's productivity. If you have some data entry that is repetitive in your clinic, we put information in their ledger in ChiroTouch, and then we go into a spreadsheet and we type in all that information there, and then we copy from that spreadsheet and we put it in our text messaging system. If that's what you're doing repetitive tasks, that's administrative gravity. And you need to do the next step, which is streamlining your workflow. Implement strategies to enhance efficiency, make processes more effective. Sometimes that streamlining workflow leads to the next step, which is automating your processes. So take a look at what we do. So when a new patient comes in and they sign up on a care plan or they agree to care, what do you do next, right? What does that look like? And how much administrative gravity is used? How much stuff that's hard to describe do you do so that that patient can then start their care, have their adjustments scheduled out, get all those done, and then into care plan with a $0 balance on their ledger, all of their appointments completed, all their therapies completed, or anything else that you're working on. That can't be done with a heavy load of administrative gravity, so you have to remove those things. And those can be hard to identify, and they can be hard to move. And a lot of times it takes an outside voice to say, that sounds like a task that's got a lot of administrative gravity wrapped around it. Let's brainstorm what we can do to remove some of that and simplify or streamline or even automate this process. There's a lot of technology out there now that can help you automate. So it's critical that you optimize your office. You have to be able, you want to see more patients. You want to do a better job of serving the patients that you are seeing. So click back. So you have to optimize your office. I want to help you. I'm just want to take what I've learned and what I've developed over the last several years working as a clinic manager, and then many years before that, learning how to systematize and work as a leader in other industries that I've worked in, including technology and even nonprofit and even like church ministry. So I want to use those to help you out. This is a $1,500 90-day program. You sign up. You can pay $550 a month, or you pay $1,500 in full right up front. You get an online courses that I'm developing right now, free for included for 3 months. You have access for all 3 months, and you can do every other week one-on-one coaching for 3 whole months. That's 9 meetings that we would have going through the 3 months. I don't want to do weekly because I know how much time it takes to incorporate something you've learned into practice in your clinic. And I don't want to schedule you extra meetings, right? Even with me. So I'm telling you, this is going to be great. Every other week for 3 months, we're going to set goals, specific ones. You're going to write them down. I'm going to write them down, or I'm going to type them out because I don't use paper. I use a computer. I'm going to type them out, and I'm going to have those goals. And then you're going to tell me which goals you accomplished whenever we're done with the 90 days so that we can work together at accomplishing the ones maybe you didn't hit or celebrating the ones you did. You'll also get private message access for a whole year. So for 12 whole months, you'll be able to private message me with questions or for advice or for any technology recommendations or anything like that you can think of. So thank you for spending this last 20 minutes with me, and please reach out. You can go to kmichaelprince.com or email me at coach@kmichaelprince.com, and I would love to help you.